Hi there, it's Erin, Duffy, your stage presence coach, back again with another tip to help you amplify your stage presence and own your unique voice so that you feel comfortable and confident in every room you walk into. So, today I want to share with you my last insight around my series on the power of empathy in your executive presence. So, we have talked about how empathy builds trust in the moment, how it helps you connect and respond and lead with your humanity. But now, what I want to do is I sort of want to zoom out. Let's talk about how empathy can become a leadership legacy because the way you show up in your compassion, your awareness, and your presence doesn't just affect in the moment, it begins to shift culture. So, here is what I've learned from my own experience, as well as working with other business professionals and leaders. Empathy isn't just something that we do when we have time. It's also not reserved for the one-on-ones or those emotional moments. It's actually a tone. It's a leadership frequency, and that frequency gets absorbed by your team, by your peers, by your organization. And we all know that feeling. We know when you've walked into a room and it's tense and it's guarded and it's quiet. Well, that's a culture where empathy is kind of missing. Now, I want you to contrast that with a room where people speak up. They're engaged, they share ideas, they admit when they're stuck or they've made a mistake and are looking for some support, or they even laugh together. Well, that's a room that is shaped by a leader who sees them, not just their roles. And that's what you can build. When you lead with empathy, you show people that they're seen, that they're safe. You show that it's okay to be honest, to be human, to bring their full self to the room, to their work. And that is where culture begins to shift from the inside out. And you, as a leader, a rising leader, can make that happen. So let me share something with you. I had one of my clients, we'll call her Maria. She was newly promoted to a senior role in her organization after a major company reorg. Now, as you can imagine, the culture was quite tense. People were protecting their turf. They were guarding their ideas. They were heads down. And there wasn't a whole lot of collaboration. And see, for Maria, and I knew Maria for quite a while, that goes against her. She's just a natural collaborator. She is one who loves to bring teams together, but the culture there wasn't really allowing for that. Well, Maria, now that she stepped into that senior role, decided, I'm not going to lead the way I see it being led. I'm not going to lead by directive. I'm going to choose something different. She chose to lead what came very naturally to her. She led with empathy. And here's a simple thing she started to do. Every meeting began with a check-in. Now, and it wasn't long, it wasn't forced. It was just a moment of like, hey, how are you really doing this week? Now, that simple shift changed the energy. People who were tense and heads down for a while suddenly were opening up. Ideas started flowing in her group. Feedback became more honest. The tone changed because Maria's tone changed. That was the empathy edge for her. Empathy didn't just change Maria's presence, it started to reshape her team's culture. Now, here's my invitation to you. What kind of culture are you shaping? Simply by the way you are showing up. Think about that. We are kind of responsible for our culture. How can we change that? So this week, I want you all to choose one intentional act of empathetic leadership. I know we've talked about a few over the last couple of weeks, so I'm just going to give you a couple that you can think about. Maybe begin your next meeting with a moment of acknowledgement. Maybe ask a good question, check in, see how people are doing. Or maybe it's checking in privately with somebody on the team who may be a little off this week. Or maybe, I'm going to love this one, sharing a story that reminds your team they're not alone in what they're feeling. And you have that story. Share it with your team. Again, whatever it is, no matter, it doesn't matter because it's how you lead that shapes how others believe is possible. And that's you doing that. So think about that and try that this week and let me know how it goes. And again, if this message is striking something deeper in you and you really want to kind of do a check in on your empathy in your leadership, please, I invite you to take my Boosting Your Executive Presence with Empathy self assessment. Again, it's just a starting point and it's a good place for reflection and growth. And I know we've been talking the last couple of weeks about this empathy. And if it's really hitting home and you're like, I really want to talk more deeply about this, let's connect. DM me or sign up for a 30-minute session with me. I'd love to hear more about this because here's the thing. Empathy is not just a soft skill. It's the edge that makes you as a leader unforgettable. It's what turns those moments into momentum and leadership into a culture that others thrive in. And isn't that what we want for all of our teams? We want them to thrive. Let's build a culture where people can thrive. Okay, that is it for this time. I am wishing you all a fantastic week. Try out one of my exercises and let me know which one worked for you. And until next time, I hope you have, again, a fabulous week. And I will see you next time for another tip on how you can amplify your stage presence and own that room.